I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening. So wake up with Michele Meiché, the place to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening. Understand what living awake is.
Come on in and join in. So it's great to connect with everyone. If you're new here, welcome. This is Awakenings with Michele Meiché. Great place for insight, information on the soul path journey, the soul path of awakening, and the place for advanced metaphysics, insight, and awakening conversations. Hello, Owen in the chat. Good to see you. Call in, Owen, if you can. Love to hear from you. How are you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. Okay. So Owen's coming on. Owen. Okay, let's see. Invite as speaker. Okay, very cool. Hey, Owen, welcome. Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. It's been a while since we talked.
How are things? I know you moved.
I did, yeah. Well, it has been it's been a wild 6 months. I mean it's good. I definitely am meant to be here right now. I'll just give you like a really brief rundown.
Okay.
So so the 2 days after I said my final goodbyes in the city that I was living in, I came back up here, and then my mom was diagnosed with leukemia, and it's been a huge, just a total shock. I mean, she's always been like a really healthy and like non-allopathic person as I am, and so I've been here just kind of staying with her and like helping her through the process. And it's lots of hospital visits, and she's really, it was like an acute situation, so she went down like the traditional allopathic route, and chemotherapy and all of that, which has kind of been really hard to but it just is what it is. And I've been here with her, and I also have my sister and her family is here. So, and there's just a lot going on. So I've kind of been caretaker and facilitator and just kind of space holder for everything that's going on. And my mom is still in the thick of it. It's been 6 months, and she's had several hospital stays with chemotherapy, and she was supposed to get a bone marrow transplant next month, but she just got the news that her levels are not where they need to be, and like there's still like some abnormal. She's not in enough remission for that to happen. So, we're just kind of waiting to see what the next step is. But I wanted to see if you could give me any insight. She's a really like. She's handled what she's been through. I mean, I think it would have killed most people her age, what she's been through. She's incredibly strong. But I just wanted to see if you had any insight, whether, spiritual or just anything that you could.
Well, it makes sense why you kept getting the message every time you call in, and I do a mini
I know
to move back.
Well, and I wanted to
move back.
Yes, I wanted to say that because I remember when I talked to you.
Hello. Hi, who's this? Hello.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Okay.
I remember when I talked to you back in March of last year, I kind of we had been talking about it for a while, and I kind of got the go ahead from you, and I was feeling like that was the right time. And I remember you saying like something like it's going to be really important that you are back there. And it had, I mean, I truly, if I don't know, if I wasn't here, I would have just picked up and moved anyway. But it just, the timing of it was so incredible, and I want to thank you for that. Like I've told everyone in my family, like I'm just so grateful that I had that guidance from you to move back when
Yeah.
I did. So
It kind of almost reminds me, you're not the same thing, and I definitely have been present with family and parents going through uh, cancer or something. Um, my dad went through that and didn't tell us until the last session and said, "Oh, I didn't want to worry you." And I'm like, "Dad, this is not
mm.
something you keep from the family. It's
Oh
not."
my
He's like, "Oh,
goodness.
but I'm doing fine." I just have one more treatment. I go, "How many have you gotten?"
Wow.
11. Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh
you
my
never
god.
know the body. But the one thing I will say about doing readings in, way, way back in the day when I did them like at kind of more group settings. Now I, do them online, which I love. There's so much you can say or get into because it's, there, I am also, a therapist, counselor. So, and even if I wasn't, I would have the confidentiality, but also due to my uh, training and degree, etc. They what you say in public, with someone. So
Right.
sometimes it can't come through what exactly is happening.
Yeah.
But that there can be that urgency because it's your own higher self is giving you the message, you know, any way that it can in the medium that you're in medium as a psychic medium. It's a it's a
Yeah.
what media is. So any way that it comes through, um, within a certain you know context. I mean, because it's still coming through me as a channel.
Right.
And so so I just feel like, you were really, and it's because I remember it kept coming up, coming up. And even sometimes I would think when I would get on the live stream, or I think back in the day where I'm blog talk radio, so the broadcast software, and you'd flash in my mind, and I'm like,
Mm,
did he move yet? Did he move yet? He's got to move. He's got to move.
right.
For you and whatever else is bigger. And that's it. Actually, calling in. Um, this is why I really implore people to connect more to their higher self. Because we are guided. Our higher self knows past, present, future, knows what's unfolding, and will always choose what fits in the best. And so the more that we can kind of do that in, on our own and together, like, mediums like this, etc., or just in your own practice. But you listened,
Yeah.
and it,
Yeah.
which was so great. I mean, it
It's
sounds like it was just so timely for
It
you as
really
well.
was, and every single person I talk to, everyone is like, it's like they just can't believe the timing, and they're like, we are so lucky. You are so lucky that you're here, that you came back. I mean, it was literally 2 days after I got back that my whole world.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
it was
was
because I had come back like for like a month, and then I went back to just kind of close things out and say my goodbyes and do everything that I needed to do. And yeah, 2 days after I said my final goodbyes, everything shifted and changed. Um, and yeah, I mean, people are just like, it's like you're a guardian angel or something, like it
yeah,
really was divine timing. And I'm just really grateful to have had that guidance from you. Cause I mean, I think I would have done it anyway, but just to have that confirmation from you
yeah.
and doing it when I did, I'm so grateful for that. So thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Mm,
Yeah, I just feel you're right where you need to be,
mhm.
and this is a big part of your path.
Yeah.
Um, that journey, I always say, however long the transition is, and I can say this, as a shaman and also bereavement counselor, having worked with so many people and individually, before I had training and certification and that and the degrees and all that kind of stuff, working with family members, that whatever that transition is, and to some degree, whether it's us individually into a new part of our life or the transitioning of whatever that means for that person, it's such a sacred time.
It is.
Yeah, it's so. The one thing I do hear with your mother, though, is, and it's so interesting because I had tuned in to through Three Eye Atlas, and I did a shamanic interplane journey this weekend, Saturday, in person at this amazing Anima Mundi. It has an amazing crystal garden in the back, and Three Eye Atlas came through. I touched a little bit on it, but open to that frequency. And so we got such great feedback. I did it with Grace, her husband Nelson, who will be on next week, the 24th. They both did a meditation, what do you call it, MP3 music, whatever you want to call it, for. So we're going to talk about that, make that available.
Awesome.
As well. But the similar thing that happened to me with the heart piercing. In fact, one of the participants was saying, oh, my heart was hurting, but they've done work with me for inner plane journey work and hypnotherapy. So they knew, or breath work, they knew sometimes you have somatics come up. But they said they felt this piercing in their heart, and for 20, 30 minutes, and then finally it eased up and opened, and so many people just opened. There was a lot of stuff with the heart opening, feeling like a shell has been cracked open.
Wow.
And my sense, as I tune in through you to connect in with your mom's frequency, is sound and toning with her.
Okay.
And to help with I'm hearing the blood and the bones.
Yes. Yep.
Is that part of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
It's blood.
It's blood. Okay. But there's ancient memory, also in our blood, our bloodline, our bones, but beyond our, quote unquote family of origin, we have that healing in humanity. So, there's even, if you email me to remind me, and I'll send you I think I still have a copy of it, the Crystal Temple of Healing, and to play that. But I feel like she needs support. I feel like she's held so much.
She has.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
in her life with
Her
family and friends. I know.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
part of it. She's got to release. Yeah. She has held so much. So the more that she can release what she feels is her responsibility or obligation, or what she now can't hold, the more she can release that and allow this other to come in, I feel would be of great benefit for her.
Definitely. Yeah, that's been definitely, I mean, that's kind of been a long time journey with her. It's like, just in my role as her son, just towing that line, but it's like you can't force her. You can't, like, these are ingrained patterns, and she is strong, tough. I mean, she's had a hard life.
No, I know. I see that. But sometimes strong and tough is letting go and letting but here's the thing, you can sneaky do it. I mean, because the higher self is receptive. It's always, I mean, I've been doing this work for so long. It's the higher self always wants what's most optimizing, life enhancing, efficacious, efficient, whatever you want to do, because it's based on love. It's based on survival, like all of nature.
Yeah.
So our program, our pattern is not us. We have a soul design, right? A soul matrix, a soul signature frequency, but our relating pattern, we learn, we shape, we form, we take on. Yeah. So those templates, those overlays are not us. And so sometimes just, again, like the soothing in the background, the music, allows the higher self and the healing guide, or there's an aspect of the higher self. It's inner knowing, inner guide, and an inner healer, amongst other things within our inner psyche, psychological aspects of us. But it allows that part to come through. Think about this. If you ever seen, weddings are great for this. Back in the day, when I remember as a kid, and I always noticed this, like the music would come on, the band or the music, and then you would see somebody that was just buttoned up and their toe is going, or they're moving side to side, or their mouth. It's like the music got to them and they
Yeah.
forgot. But then when you'd look at them, they'd be like, oh, they, do you want to dance? No, I'm fine. But their toes going. So I'm just feel for her that whatever that is, it's not a judgment. And I get it. You can't come out and say you need to relax. That doesn't do anything anyway. But what I'm saying, to engage her own natural healing ability, what that aspect of her wants to do.
Yeah.
It would be through allowing that, bringing in that kind of environment, which you're so good at.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So think about, without trying to do anything, what you did or do for your clients, whether it's a certain type of music, or is it incense, is it flower, is there certain things that you're bringing in and just leaving?
Yeah.
And then letting her healing process be assisted or augmented.
Yeah. Well, it's good to just remember that and have that, confirmation that, because I feel like that is my main role right now. I will say it's been an added challenge because I was dealing with my own little health issue this summer. I was bitten by a tick when I was working in the woods. I was working in the woods here, and I got bitten by a tick. And I've been bitten by many ticks before.
Oh, you have? Okay.
And I had, what they were called Lyme disease 10 years ago, and that actually kind of really put me on like a next level of like my own healing and just understanding of natural and all, natural medicine and living naturally. And so, oh my gosh, Michele, like this has been like, this was so intense. And I did it naturally, I knew it was scary for sure, but I've studied for
now,
years.
How did you know that there was a tick? Did you see it and then you had it removed and all that?
Well, I had
the symptoms.
I had a bite that had a rash, and it was it was a lot of the symptoms lined up, and I mean it was like I was down and out for for a while, and it was something that persisted and kind of came back. But I've been very diligent, and also just studying a lot, and I'm part of a community. There's a naturopathic doc. Wow, I'm seeing a hawk right out the window. That's so special.
I love it.
Wow,
is very special.
Right in the woods where I was working.
Thank you, hawk medicine. I have
Yes.
I have right and left wing was gifted to me of hawk medicine because I work with hawk a lot. We've lately had owls in my and I'm in the suburbs, but we have owls here.
Wow, so magical. Wow.
Yeah. But the hawk coming through, that's
felt really
powerful.
And my dad, who had cancer and died 10 years ago, that was I associate him with hawks too. That was one of his totems. But yeah, anyway, it's been I feel like this has been a crazy kind of initiation portal or something. It really has been, and at the same time, I know I'm where I need to be. And, I'm also, and it's like, I feel like I'm getting in touch with other deeper aspects of myself that I wouldn't had these not come up, and the creativity and all of that, like that is, yes, some of it's been put on the back burner a little bit, because like I literally couldn't pick up the guitar or, you know what I mean? But
maybe that's why I was getting music so much with you, with your mom and the healing. I forgot. So the music that you play.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe get in a little self-care music for you. In another room where she can hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I just did that last night. She was like, "I heard you playing. It was so nice."
See, there we go. See, your own inner guidance is guiding you as to what to do.
Yeah.
And there is a lot right now with the frequency on the planet. There has been a lot with the body.
Mm-hmm.
I was jokingly saying, I don't know, last year to a friend, I mean, a lot of things. I've been working 30 plus years with the soul. And so all of this, and nobody wanted to know that, it's like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
weren't ready. And same with somatic, working with somatic psychology and working. I remember studying it wasn't a big thing. It's now everyone's doing it. But I do feel the soma, the body, because our body and actually our body mind is an instrument of the soul, as what we look at as esotericists and advanced metaphysics. So that cleansing, that clearing, that whatever that means, that optimizing, and that's one of the things the guides were sharing with me. In February, it was about resilience, and then they said that's teach people, help people be more resilient, to not lose their soul shape, this bouncing back. Well, 2026, it's optimization. And you're seeing that a lot with medicine and peptides and certain technologies, and looking at ourselves as a technology. Like you know how to heal. You're a technology. You're like, bing, bing, bing. I know what works for me. What I do this, do that.
And it's not the same for everybody.
No.
Yeah, that's.
No. But you have to know, and this goes back to know thyself, know your body mind system, know that template, that your soul blueprint, the ego template, know that. Like for me, if I have a lot going on, like right now I'm drinking this beautiful throat coat tea because it has I think it has licorice, slippery elm. But I know when I'm doing a lot, there's certain foods that I eat, there's certain things that I stay away from. Or vibrationally, like, my vibration is feeling this way. I cannot do, even if it's decaf, I cannot do the almond milk latte. I can do the matcha, I can do the green tea, I can do the green tea matcha, or I can do clear green tea, or I can do. So pausing and getting to know ourselves, like, I'm going through a lot, I'm stretched, this is what I need to eat, or this is what I need to do, or this is what I need to wear.
Yes. That's
knowing
such a
right.
It's so important because and it's so important, and it's actually, it's simple, but it's not as it's harder than it seems, because we're so routinized, and we're so like, there's just, and even just I've thought about you and what are some of our past conversations about the whole influencer culture, and like when I go onto Instagram, and like sometimes even with accounts that I love and that I've gotten a lot of, that have opened my world in some ways, I lately I'm just like, I just cannot deal with like just the everything about it, like you need, if you like, you need to do this, like this kind of just very prescriptive thing, even if it's completely natural. It's like, I don't know. It's really, you're right. It is about tuning into your own.
It's old paradigm. And I've been saying for years, and you know me, I always look for confirmations. It excites me to go in like mainstream world, mainstream news, business people, billionaires, multi-billionaire, whatever. What are they saying? What are they doing? And how are they, because they're tapping into the awakening in different ways. Well, what are we seeing? The fall of the celebrity. I've been saying that for years. Celebrity. And I've been saying the fall of the influencer.
Yep.
Those that have been listening. And I have some clients I work with that had influencer on their, I said, take that off. Take that off.
I cannot deal with it. It's so bad.
But the other day I'm watching this podcast, I was drawn to this business podcast, and they were saying that the decline, they called it the decline of the influencer. They said because they did this whole polling. And I always say a lot of things that I get psychically, it's amazingly accurate. It's amazing. But there are also companies or groups that have computers that do these, algorithms, they have the way actuaries, they do these studies, and some of this are coming to a conclusion that I'm coming to psychically, or is it getting visions, or is a channel? So there are people in the world that do that. So anyway, they did this poll of, with Gen Z and Alpha, that they're not following influencers. They don't like influencers. And that what do they call it? They said the perception, what they get, that influencers only about money. And it was. I'm not knocking it. It was an interesting game, but it was all about the affiliate links. It was all about
Yes, it's all
pushing.
it's a facade. It's
A
not
facade.
real.
Yeah, it's a way. To me, all of this that's getting shaken out comes from the multi-level marketing, and even
Yeah.
moving from social media, social marketing, now into social selling, where people have their groups or networks and they offer something, which I think is cool. But don't tell me, I even called out one time this acquaintance of mine who has a very fast metabolism, is like about 5'2". Her parents were very thin, and she's making all this money saying you can look like me
It's
at
so silly.
66.
It's so
No, you
ridiculous.
cannot.
No.
No, because we have genes, we have different body types.
And
and,
it yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
selling this narrative of this is what health is, that I eat this way or that way,
Right. Right.
and I mean, I was vegan for 7 years, vegetarian for 20 plus, and then I went back occasionally, now eat meat, which I remember when I start, people were like, "Oh my God, Michele, you're so spiritual. You're having it."
I did the same thing.
And I'm like, my body, I mean, I was on raw foods for 3 years
Yep.
before it was like a big thing. And I had to go to my nutritionist because
For
I
your
got an
thyroid.
I got an oil deficiency. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
"Michele, eat some avocados, eat some butter."
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm sure there's the rare person who can do that. I mean, I used to think that was like what health was, like I did raw, I did vegan, and I'm like, that is the opposite of what, like, I actually eat a lot. I eat a lot of organic pasture raised meat now because that's what my body needs. And I feel, you need fat soluble vitamins. That's really important. I mean, and it's different for everybody, but you have to listen to your body.
You have to listen. That's the
yeah.
key. Because it was good while it was good for me. It was amazing.
Mhm.
I even did races. I
Wow.
did fasts. I did 10Ks. And people are like, "Oh, Michele, you're going to,"
Yeah.
it suited my body until it did.
Until
So
it, yeah.
didn't, yeah.
Because it can deplete you, like if you're not getting, there are certain things.
I just started having a craving. I went away on a vacation. I came back. I had to call my dad, and I'm like, "What did you used to cook? A barbecue and steak?" Because I hadn't eaten. And I just had this craving, and I knew to trust myself and not be on judgment one way or the other. Like, okay, what are you needing now? What is the iron deficient, whatever was going on. I just didn't question. But I think too, our connection here, Owen, and our sharing is hopefully people are listening going, how can I listen and be more in tune? And it doesn't take, it's like anything else, it takes consistency, but then it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
And it is a form of kind of not just self-love, but it's like self-appreciation. It's like, I don't know. For me, it's kind of cool when I know I'm going through something. Like today, I have it's been chillier, and I've been putting a lot of output, and I'm able to, since 3i Atlas. I mean, they've really jump started me in many ways. But I'm like, okay, you have the little, moon in Taurus. Sometimes your throat gets a little, the lymph nodes, that's my little area. So I'm like, okay, the other day I wore a scarf when I went out. Today I have this cozy top on that's, high collared. It's small things like that. It's pausing and going, this avatar us, this, marionette, this beautiful vessel, vehicle, instrument. I mean, people with their instruments, their singing bowls, crystal bowl, their guitars, they're changing the strings and, dusting them. And it's like, okay, you clean hopefully the screen on your TV or your laptop or your phone. So that care, or the car, it's like, okay, we have to start caring for ourselves and go, because it does disrupt the ability as a transponder, that broadcasting, transmitting, and receiving the signals, a clear signal.
Yeah.
But when we love and attune to our container, what is the frequency of this aspect of our consciousness, and lovingly, help it, massage it, support it, listen to it. And so that's going to be increasingly not just important, but crucial and critical in the right for the new paradigm, because that new emerging consciousness is coming in a lot more from intuition, from the energy and motion. The emotions are the carrier waves. So part of it's kind of clearing, cleansing, or purifying the denser emotions, responses, conditioned response patterns from wounding, what's congealed, and opening up so that we can receive a clearer signal.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's kind of how I've been, at least for me personally, with this, with getting bitten by the tick and going through. I mean, it was months of like I was in a lot of pain too.
I didn't know. So I don't know much about that. I know people that have had it. I've worked with people that have had it. I know animal beings that have gotten bitten.
Yeah.
And,
I was really surprised when it happened because, I've been bitten by many ticks over the years. And I honestly, my personal belief is that I was so emotionally distraught by what was happening with my mom that my system was so out of whack. And I feel like I was bitten and my defenses were low, and the ticks carry, they carry environmental poisons as well. And so I could feel my body moving, kind of processing the poison. Like it was really intense. Like it was like a soul thing. And but I do feel like it really has driven me deeper just on this path. And I'm really passionate about self-healing and using tools that you need when you need them, but really tapping into the body's innate ability. The body it's a self-healing mechanism when it's given the right things. And
the support. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling a lot better. I don't feel like I'm at 100 yet, but I do expect to come back and be like,
I'm sure you will.
better than better than before. I do feel like this is kind of an initiation. And it's also been, it's a little, it was like also hard too, because it's like you talk to people and tell them, people just assume that you do like those antibiotics are really intense. And I did a round of them 10 years ago when I was bitten by a tick. And a lot of, I think, time and a place for everything. But they are suppressive, and they can, they oftentimes they suppress symptoms and then they come back years later, or so it's a tricky it's a tricky thing. But I've learned a lot, and it's I think
sometimes you need to take it. That's why it's here. I mean, I talked to someone with a whole, I don't do flu shots. I didn't do COVID shots. I don't do that. But let me tell you, one time I got what is it? Tamiflu. Because I had an important podcast, with like a well-known celebrity. I'm like, I'm not missing this sucker.
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
Monday.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That Tamiflu knocked it out.
Yep.
And so, I think it's like, again, balance, wholeness, holistic wholeness.
And not, I think I can tend, and I think a lot of people in the who are health conscious, it's easy to become like a purist and to just get overly even to be overly focused on the body. Like you need to have the balance of like, I'm not the body. This is a tool, it's a vessel, and it's beautiful. It's an outpicturing of me, but it's not me, like it's not me fully.
It's an aspect. It's such, I think would help me. See, when I do hear people making big judge, obviously there's some common sense things with food and diet and there's some things like that, or if you're around a lot of negativity or whatever. Although we all know the stories of a whiskey drinking, cigar smoking, or cigarette smoking person that lived 104. So I don't know.
Yes.
But what helped me, and so when I hear that, it's so newbie. They're neophyte spiritual. They're not even spiritualists. It's such. When I think it was late 80s, or through the 90s, I did a lot of work with cancer patients, AIDS patients. I did a lot of healing. And some things just completely went away, like working with someone with Sjogren's disease, the symptoms, some things. But what I learned, especially with working with people that had AIDS, that there's and this is for everything. Sometimes it's something we're meant to go through. Sometimes it's our responsibility or our fault. We know, the doctor says stop eating 12 pieces of chocolate cake a day because of your heart. Okay, we get that. But what I did learn from the guides and from being this steward of people that were, some didn't look like they were going to cross over, but then they did, and some came to me, already physically very ill. A couple things. It's that sometimes it is learning. Sometimes it's a creativity. When we're not using our creative energy enough, it implodes, and we've all seen that happen.
Yeah.
And another thing, though, it is a way. It's a form of creativity, but it is also a way that those around us learn about love and giving.
Absolutely.
So that being that comes in and contracts this or that, it may be a little bit for them, but there's also something for whatever, friends, family, society. There's a bigger understanding, and we can see that when we look at generational icons or people that are, a Madonna, or we have recently this tragedy with the Rob Reiner and his wife and the son. And by the way, I looked at him pictures, and you could tell. I'm sorry, guy. He had mental illness.
For sure.
You could see it in the eyes,
yes,
and the energy.
Absolutely.
And apparently, they didn't want to believe it, and then the drugs come in. So these things happen. It is part of the earth game, part of the polarity, and the distortion. It's kind of like telephone, that game, or you whispering in the ear. There is this distortion that happens when we create something, make something, when we come together on the earth plane. It's just the nature of it.
Right.
And so we all individually and then also collectively go through these passages with somehow point something out for a deeper integration. It's a call, right? For that complex of vibrational frequency, some kind of understanding, integration. And what I have humbly learned over the years, not that something is so right or so wrong or so pure or so holistic, because I've come to understand that I don't know all of it when we get into the quantum level and beyond.
Right.
I don't know the moving around of what is actually happening
beyond what you can just
even beyond the collective level. There is something else that's being answered, because everything that manifests has a complex of vibrational frequency and resonance. It's meant to manifest to either stay or be lived through, experienced, and moved on. So I think what you're bringing in, whether it's with your mother, your own path, your healing and awareness through what you're going through, I really feel it's all of us, a call is to, how do we bring more sacredness to? I always use my mom, by the way, who is, I perceived it was very unconscious, toxic. Well, as she kept dying and coming back. And the doctors finally, I'm traveling all over the world, and they're saying, oh, we don't know, your mom, was dead, but now she's back. She's in ICU now. Oh yeah. She was stubborn. She raised like a phoenix, calling me back. I was modeling, traveling, and come back, Michele. You have to have a TV. Okay. I don't want to die on the day my mom's birthday. I don't want to die on okay, mom, rising like a phoenix. But then she started talking to me. She knew metaphysics. She knew about the silver cord. She's like, you're the only one I can talk to. And I'm thinking, where was this person?
Right.
She was repressed by her conditioning. And then later, when she crossed, she brought me the near-death experience. So I've had two, one at 4, and then one she brought me.
Wow.
I would tell her, my grandpa came to me when he passed. Oh, he came to me too. A lot of her conditioning was held this in place, but she was very evolved. And after she passed, all these books, oh, I remember this is my mom. Oh, okay. It was March 17th. She's like, I'm not going on St. Patrick's Day. I don't want life to be remembered. So she delayed it. I mean,
Wow.
she was so powerful. And I remember once I was doing this deep inner work, and I kind of made a little telepathic comment about her not being so evolved. And she came in and snapped, well, how evolved do you have to be able to bring you the near death experience? And I was like, whoa, snap.
Wow.
And then she had all these books about, Dianetics, astrology. What was the guy, the prophet, the sleeping prophet, whatever?
Khalil Gibran? Or no?
Not Kipper Hill, Nostradamus, not Nostradamus.
Oh.
Well, she had that too.
Edgar
but I can't.
Casey?
Edgar Casey. She had all this, and I'm sure I was living it out as being born psychic and getting on a path, 11, 12, having visions. And I'm sure that was rubbing her the wrong way because she was in this 50s model container, housewife of what you can do and not do, whatever. And she never dissuaded me from it, never stopped me. My dad, they listened, and I would say to some degree they believed, they just, but the discourse, so I learned a lot in that. Like, we don't always know where, so, the total, like you said, Owen, earlier, the denser physical aspect, it's a small part. It's like a thumbnail. It's even smaller. And so we don't know the totality of that soul of what they know because they've come here to do, one main aspect. Oh, I do see from the producer that our guest is on.
Oh, I'll let you go.
Beautiful. I've loved this conversation.
I know, me too. Wow.
Keep calling in, and I'm so, though I'm feel for you and your mom, what you're going through, but it sounds like you're handling it really well. And it's great that you came back to be
absolutely. And
of
again,
service in this way,
Thank you so much again for just your confirmation back in March too. I mean, I really, I'm so, I'm just so happy that the timing worked out. It really was a divine timing kind of thing. So, and it's always so nice to talk to you. I definitely will call in again soon, probably. So
yeah, definitely do keep us posted. And we got a great guest coming on, Tina Hardt, and talking about intuition, as we touched upon.
Awesome.
Her book is Charm Casting, Divining with Trinkets, Baubles, and Bits. And I'm big in. Well, I think everything speaks to us. Yeah. Cartomancy, geomancy, everything has the potential to be a sign, symbol, message, or guidance, and that we put in our place, our higher self. So anyway, I'll get on with it. I think I see her. I didn't see a name, but anyway, I think this is her. Thanks, Owen. Hang around and call back in if you want to. If you have any questions, call in or put them in the chat.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you so much, Michele.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we've got our guest on. Hello, Tina. Are you here? Is that you?
I think so. It's me.
Hi, Tina. Welcome. And how do you say your last name? Is it Hardt?
It's Hardt. Yeah, it's just
Hardt.
spelled like the double trouble
Boiling
German
DT. Okay, the DT. Yeah. Okay, let's dive in. Perfect connection today with your book, because I'm getting those intuitive hits or messages in multiple ways. But I'd love to know a little bit about you, because I don't know much about, and then we can dive in a bit to your book, and also divining through quote unquote inanimate objects, right?
Yeah. Oh boy, where do I start? Okay. Well, cartomancy ran in my family, on my mom's side of the family. I came from a couple of generations of playing card readers. And then
now, did you do that as well? Did you go to charms, or do you do different ways of divining?
I did. I began with tarot, and also I studied at the Reader Studio in New York. Very, very, I guess, fortunate to have been, taught by some of the greats Mary Greer and Rachel Pollack and a lot of prolific authors and personalities. And the first day of Reader Studio was always the psychotherapists, the Jungians that would come in that were using.
I studied Jungian dream therapy, so I'm definitely all parts process. There's just so much there with the Jungian system and principles and symbolism, way of interpreting, right?
I heard a little bit about your background and your work, and I'm just telling you, I'm in awe. I'm in awe. But so anyway, I did foundational studies, and then eventually I started studying mediumship as well. And we know that the two are different. Yeah. But in terms of divination, I guess we get attracted to different divinatory systems that we resonate with. Tarot was one of them, and playing cards, and then a traditional oracle called Lenormand. But I really, I guess when I first started, I was introduced to charms. There's just something, I guess, about my, the combination of the inner child and the healer that wanted to have interactive sessions as well, that I was just obsessed.
Now, Tina, and I studied a little bit Lenormand. I don't know much about. I'm really novice at that. Tarot, I love and have studied and done for years, and they don't seem to. And I know they don't cross over. Do you mix what the tools, or are you really just gravitate towards the charms, or in which do you find?
Such a great question.
Yeah.
Such a great question. And yes, I do. And I also, I believe, as a diviner, and I've said this before, but I believe we have tool belts. So it really depends on the context and what somebody is asking, that we get moved, or we get towards a tool. But I also believe in doing layered readings, because I like to look at deeper layers. I also like to look at repetitions. And every single one of these systems has a unique voice, and it's like they've got a job. So tarot for me would be, as you know, it's got so much. It's got the zodiac, it's got the esoteric components, it's got great practicality, but it also has a lot of psychological.
Yes, it's very psychological.
Yeah. Very psychological.
You can use it for self-development, absolutely.
Self-reflection, development, yes. But then also Lenormand is a very traditional system, but it is more situational. It's more diagnostic. It's almost like Kipper. So somebody's coming in basically just asking when their house is going to sell. I don't want to go to tarot in that situation.
Interesting. Yeah.
I want to go to.
You're seeing it could be more direct. By the way, I agree with you as a psychic channel and a reader. I have a YouTube channel also. I don't know. Do you have a YouTube channel? It just
I
started or.
Are you getting feedback?
I am. Let me put this. Let's see. I think. Let's see. We've got.
Would it be?
There we go. Okay. What about now? Do you hear anything?
That's fine. You let me know if that's coming on my end.
Okay.
So right. So
no, but anyway, I was going to say I agree with the layers and then specific questions, and I like the layering and adding and building and adding context. Now let's go back, because I'm kind of curious about. So the Kipper and Lenormand, you're saying it's more situational. Is it more direct for you?
I think so. Okay. Oh yeah, I think so. Now, I'm just going to say the thing about Kipper is I would maintain that anybody that learned Kipper and learned it properly would never have to have a day job again in their life, because it needs almost like that lobe of the brain that doesn't work so well with me. So Lenormand works fine when you do a GT, you do a GT, a full grand tableau, and then work in. I do a little fusion with the houses. So there's a lot of information there that can give you some very practical information within timelines. And Kipper will do that too, but Kipper, the word I'm going to use is mathematical, right?
Okay.
So, but the thing about Lenormand is that, you know, like tarot too, you benefit from learning the foundational studies, because I'm a little bit of an elitist and a traditionalist when it comes to Lenormand, and I don't believe on going off. I mean, obviously you're going to get that psychic layer hit where you're
You
starting
do.
to
So
get
what do you do with
gaze.
that? Yes, you do.
You do, but that's an extra gear of information. At first, you sort of need to read it the way the cards want to be read, and so you have to stick with the system. You have to stick with a method, and core meanings of the cards. But then, as you start synthesizing on soft gazing the tableau at the end of it, that's when you're going to rely on your clairs, right? That's when you're going to get the clairaudience. You're going to get the, you know, you're going to get the claircognizance, and you're going to get the stuff that's coming between the lines.
Now, yeah, so it sounds like you've studied it quite a bit. As a system, is it used for prognosis, diagnosis, right? Is it statistical in that way? Is it predictive? Is that the main use for it?
Yes, I think so. I really do. I mean, here's the thing too, as a diviner. I mean, I know you've done a lot of work with, it sounds like, somatics, and with me, you know, it's all about what we're allowed to do and what our guides are saying. Okay, you know, I've got your back on this one. You know, you've got access to that garden. So, but with me, you know, for health questions, things like that, unless I really feel like I'm allowed to or whatever, I would stay back from them. And certainly I would never do, for me personally, I would never use tarot that way. But if you're looking to see developments, or like I said, a real estate deal, you know, is this house going to sell? When will this house sell? All of those like muggle things. That's when I think that the Lenormand, you know, really has a lot to say. And that's what I mean.
I'm going to integrate that in those. I had somebody a couple weeks with the house going to sell, and I was like, because sometimes when you're getting it, yeah, I grew up, I was psychic, you know, from, I guess, birth, but so my high intuition psychic, and then I became a channel.
Wonderful.
Then the tarot came later, and then Lenormand I was kind of drawn to, and Kipper. I think I have 2 decks with that. But Lenormand, because I guess what you're saying, you have to know the system, really boggles my mind. I mean, I did the whole like spreadsheet, and you know, the tableau, the grand tableau, trying to figure it out. But it really is a whole system that you really have to know. And frankly, I don't know, get mixed up with it. But
Let me share 2 fabulous authors. And you know, with the Lenormand, there was something known as the Great Lenormand Wars, and they were vicious, where they had diviners from different schools, because there are a couple of different schools, and really that's going to reflect on how people are reading just a couple of cards. It was the moon card was one of them, and the fish card, you know, which was the card of money, which was the card of reputation versus whatever. But anyway, Lisa Young Sutton, her books on Lenormand are fabulous. Rana George, legendary. And Rana George is just coming out with a new book. Her second.
What was the first one, Lisa? Sorry, what was
Lisa Young Sutton.
Okay.
I love her. She's got great YouTube channels. And Rana George, who is she's iconic, Rana. And when she actually, she is a Cartomancer extraordinaire, and she's had so many really crazy life experiences. So when she talks about, you know, being in these war-torn countries and how the cards were landing, and her, oh my God, it's just incredible. So Rana George, goddess. And then Donna Leigh Della Rose, and you can find her on YouTube. and then the head of the World Divination Association, Tony Savory. So we are lucky in our lifetime. We are lucky to have these mentors that are alive and that aren't holding their cards close to their chest
Right.
and giving us the benefit of their secrets in ways that are easily digestible. Put it that way.
Right. Now,
So
Tina,
just for
let
your
me
own.
ask,
Mhm.
just what you think of updating meanings. And I guess we could say with Lenormand, but it could be also with anything, tarot or even charms. Do you believe that the meanings, like you mentioned moon, and I'm thinking some say that can also be like intuition or doing psychic work, or even I think, is it the moon or stars? Yeah, the moon, using psychic. Do you believe that? Because there does seem to be a bit of a split where something is very narrow, traditional, kind of, maybe you might want to say old paradigm, old school meaning. And so I don't know if these are these two schools of thought. So I just want to get your take on that. As well as tarot, do you think that we update the meanings to some degree?
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of, I mean, let's just talk about tarot for a sec. You know that there are so many themed decks, right, that have sort of gone off-roading or spitballed from the original Rider-Waite or the Thoth deck or the Mercier, right? One of the three, but the Rider-Waite being, and it's gone through so many filters of graphic designers that you end up with decks that are almost really encouraging you to start going into a more intuitive place. And, really it's about validation, isn't it? It's about the third party validation. And if you've nailed something, you've nailed it. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But for some reason, personally, when it came to Lenormand, I wanted to learn how to do it traditionally first. And I wanted to ground myself in the core meanings. And then, like I said, then you could feel a little bit more confident, soft gazing and going off-roading a little bit. And then you start realizing, well, when you've got certain combinations, and it's just through experience and work. But if you're getting that far off the page, then you might as well just stick to an oracle deck, because that virtually you can do anything with, right? It doesn't need to be a traditional system.
Yeah, I kind of do agree with
And
you, though. I
then
think it's good to get the foundation, the system first,
I
and
think so.
and then go. Years and years ago, I did a lot of tarot workshops, and I remember people would bring in these decks, and I'm like,
what?
Thoth or Raider, yes, because they were so, especially with themselves. It's easy to fool yourself when you have the iconic, graphy is different than, like, I'm like, they're reading it a certain way. I'm like, no, get your Rider-Waite, your Thoth, start there first, then get these other ones. So I'm so glad you're saying that, because we have a lot of people studying tarot or starting tarot, because I agree, because if you sometimes start with the other ones that the meanings are so filtered, I think down the road those can be great, like you said, off-roading. But in the beginning, because I would see people fool that, oh, I'm doing this, I'm like, I'm looking at them going, no, that's not what's happening in your life. No, falling
You're
apart.
gonna miss so much. You'll miss so many different facets. That's the thing. If you can take just take a card and sort of just learn it, but then as you keep working with it, you'll start to that I really do believe a tool, if you spent enough time with it, I really do believe that a tool will explain something new to you too. And it's really that information that comes, like I said, between the lines is what gets us to the next level as diviners when we step into service. I think that's important.
Yeah. Now, you just sparked a question. I'm wondering, when you said that something new comes through, I'm wondering if it's also us as diviner, if we're growing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think
Good.
okay?
Yeah. Good.
And then I'm wondering if because if it's reading, if we're able to read something different in it or new or elucidate on something or expound on it, is it also us as the reader?
Michelle, and I know you just from hearing you do that last interview, like backstage in the green room. um, you know, we're being asked to evolve. I mean, we have to evolve. If this is what we have decided that we want to do with our time, and we want to, we have to evolve. So surely that is going to open us up as channels too. We're going to become clearer, we're going to become calmer, and we're actually going to make sense of a lot of the personal things that we've gone through in our lives, that weren't so easy at the time. So now we can put them into service to actually help. Do you know what I mean? To help somebody else in front of us. So sure, that's going to be in flux. I believe that's got to be in flux, because if it's not in flux, we're not learning any longer.
Yeah.
And if we're not learning, we might as well just, park
Yeah,
it.
park it. Yeah, I like that. So you're saying in it to some degree, and I think that's what makes a clear or accurate channel is you have to be still growing and learning, and at least my little humble opinion, I have to know what my stuff is, my pitfalls,
Oh
because
yeah.
because
Yeah.
otherwise, it's like, so I like that what you're saying, that growth, because then now it's something alive, it's something reciprocal,
Hmm.
it's this give and take and learning, and I'm hopefully being triggered in ways that open
Yeah.
me up more and bring more
It,
growth in.
it's a double-ended wand, and I
Mm,
think too, as diviners and psychics and psychic mediums, that it's really important, very important. One of the most important things that I think that we have to learn, it's not always easy, but we need to know where we end and where our sitter
yeah.
begins, or
Mm,
else it's just, as from your training and experience, or it's just going to be pure projection.
yeah, so true. And I've seen that sometimes with, back in the day when I would get reading, I was like, oh my God, this is this person's whole experience they're putting on me. And I'm like, I'm not in that. But um yeah, I like what you're saying with the and the toolkit, the bringing these different elements. Now
Mhm.
you've been doing this a while, uh, Tina. What helps you? What would you say to people that are listening? Is there is it a perception, a perspective? Is it approach? Is it certain routine or something that you do? Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Um, so what is it that keeps me wanting to do it, or sorry?
All of it, wanting to do it, but also kind of keeps you clear, and that
Oh,
growth that you were talking about. I would imagine you have some kind of, and maybe even go into the book. We're going to touch more on the book as well, but just in your own life, kind of like a
mhm,
little life in the day of, or maybe preparing for a reading, or what do
exactly.
you do daily, weekly, monthly, or whenever, that keeps you in that preparation, keeps you in that mindset to be able
I
to
think
do what you do.
there we're let's face it, we're all going to face things in our own personal lives, right? Where things are 2025, a lot of good things happened, but the more people that I speak to, the more I realize it's a common thread. 2025 was devastating for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was a real tough time. I don't know, do you vibe with that too? Did you?
Well, yeah, I actually did the numerology on it, preparing people I work with. It was about a lot of loss and grief, getting
Yeah,
disappointment, betrayal, learning to forgive, a lot of things leaving, people winding down, less. It was
heavy,
really
heavy, heavy.
heavy. Yeah, a lot of decrease instead of increase in things. A lot of letting go, a lot of stuff taken away. Yeah, so it wasn't easy.
So I think, if I ever do hit it's always important to me to know that I need to know where my vibration is at, and I need to manage my energy to the point where I understand if I'm going to stand down. I also feel sometimes that I've developed this. If I have a reading to do, it's like it's. I don't know if it sounds weird, but sometimes I won't take an appointment because if I haven't slept well the night before, or we just have two rescue cats. We just got two rescue cats, and my breathing's off, and I will pick my time when I know, like I feel like I get called to the table and I'm ready. I need it quiet. I need to hear myself think, and I need to feel ready. And it is over a time period. It's that readiness that I know the difference. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm used to the difference. I like to keep aesthetics are really important to me. So I like to keep things that please me, that are beautiful to look at around me, even if they're little things, right? I just like to keep I like, I know I have a little shed in the backyard. It's a little shed, but it's full of wood, and it's a safe space. It's a happy space. It's a sacred space. And I go in there and I just feel the energy is so high. So I think it's just we have to be sensitive to energy. I can't watch violent movies. That sounds
Yeah.
crazy. I
No,
stay
no.
away from that. I
get
used to
you.
work at Much Music. I used to work in rock and roll, but you would be surprised the music I listen to right now. I like to listen to a lot of classical. Me and the odd time, do you know what I mean? I'll have a glass of wine, and you know what I mean? But for the most part, I just like things that are calm. I need it. I crave it. And are you like were you a raging empath? Did you have to learn how to shut stuff like that down too?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And to ground and center.
Yeah.
I had early teachers saying, I thought it was cool to be out there spaced out or picking up everything. And one of my teachers, Elliot Tanzer, he said, you'll never get anything done. He goes, the difference between you and me is I'll be standing over here and no one's going to come over here and pick my brain and open up everything to me. He goes, there's a time and a place. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that was my first introduction. I didn't realize it yet, but into boundaries, the psychic boundaries, and being able to kind of let things pass or move on. But then again, sometimes things do. I'm sure you have this as well, right? That some things do affect more than others sometimes.
Oh yeah. I used to drink it all in. I mean, I would
Mm-hmm.
seriously be like a roll of Scotty paper toweling. I would drink it in and then they would leave. I mean, I'd have relationships like that too. They'd find me and they'd
Mm-hmm.
come broken, and by the end of it, they'd be feeling much better, and then they'd move on to someone else, right?
Yeah, but
So
boy, that's true.
it's
Oh
like
my god.
I had to take that neon sign down.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. That's a good way to look
like
at it.
open for business, right? No.
Oh my god, that's so
Oh yeah.
true. The neon sign. Oh my god. That's a good way of putting it.
I might as well have just stood out, in front of every gas station.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, it's so true. It's like and like I know when you're starting, it's like seems cool, but it's true. It's not. You can't. It's
No.
not sustainable, for
Well,
one
yeah,
thing.
it can make you sick too. I mean, we really underestimate how physiologically damaging that can be, because it's like you're a filter and you're letting their negativity and all their shit. Sorry, I'm allowed to say
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Of course,
Right.
it is all their shit. Yeah.
Sorry, pass through you, and it's like it can make you sick. It really can. So I mean, I knew, even I'll tell you, downtown Toronto, I lived downtown Toronto, and there was a Cartomancer. Her name was Anita. My aunt ended up working in her tea room. I loved her. She was Romanian. Michelle, you would have loved
Oh
her.
gosh.
she would always have this long cigarette, and she'd say, darling. She said, in Romania, she says, everybody knew, right? She said, sorry, reading the card, she says, was strictly forbidden. So she said, of course, we all knew how to do it, right? They used to divine the ashes in a cigarette. They would scry the length of ashes and read fortunes in that. And I remember I would come to her always, and I'd be all jacked up on one of these stupid relationships that I'd gotten into. And I would always have these crises of conscience because of the way I was thinking. So I said to her, well, maybe I should tell him. And Anita would just sit there, and she'd lean back in her chair, and she'd take this pensive drag off of her cigarette, and she'd say, darling, he's your lover, not your priest.
I love that. Oh my God. Oh my
She was
God.
amazing. She's just absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Sometimes people like that, they're so gifted and
but
it just comes through like a bolt. It's
but
like
then she got sick, right? So the reason I guess I brought her up,
okay.
I got lost in my stories there for a second,
Yeah.
but the reason is a lot of readers that I know have physical issues, and I think there's a whole, uh, you know, there's a lesson in this about how important it is to develop some sort of dispassionate observation, or because we don't have the benefit of debriefing, do we?
No, that's true.
Anyway, sorry, I need to cut you off.
No, that's true. That's a good point. So that's kind of like that old
Yeah.
paradigm or narrative, and taking so much stuff on, and the health weight issues, sometimes just or being so tired, like kind of overeating to like mask because you're
Mhm.
taking so much on. Um, Sometimes smoking a lot. Yeah, I do know. I'm thinking of one of my teachers that I had, fierce, you know, um, chain smoker due to how much she was taking in. So
Regulating, probably,
yeah,
right?
regulating. There, you just said it. Yes, thank you for that. Yes, the ways of regulating. And I think now, whatever you want to call boundaries, finding that. I think also the insertion, and you really brought this out with talking about our growth in being of service. It's not like it should not be or need not be a martyrdom. We need to take care of ourselves, and we need to have
Mhm.
ways of releasing the energy, or somehow shifting out of what we've just witnessed or gone through or read, um, or something is just keeps hanging. There has to be a way of processing or moving through it, and not holding on and letting it accumulate, letting all that. That's a really
Bill,
good point, Tina.
Marianne Kennedy, I just love her. She's a psychic medium, and I mean, I sat in, I'm sitting in foundational studies with her. I'm learning so much from her, right? But she was, it's funny that because when you first start, she points out like, she points out that when you're dealing with someone that's gone through a really, really difficult loss, right? And they're just suffering, and they're crippled with grief from that loss. And then as empaths, we sit there and we're connecting and we're feeling all these things, right? We're raising our vibration, we're merging, and then we're feeling all these things, and then before you know it, we're tearing up. That's what the beginners do. You can't do that because you can't help somebody. Not only that, but it drops your vibration, doesn't it? It drops your vibration to the psychic level, and it's not our business to go out there and cry. So that was a really amazing lesson, right? Really amazing lesson, where you understand that that's where that dispassionate observation needs to happen because to do our job, it does not mean we're not compassionate, does not mean we're not empathic, or else we wouldn't be doing the job, correct? But by the same token, we have to stay as clear and undistorted as possible, in order to be the one that delivers the messages that are going to help them. They'll do whatever they want when they go,
Right. Now you
So
called it dispassionate observation. So that I like that. I like that. It sounds like you kind of it's a shifting into something.
it is a
Into some
shifting.
kind of awareness, right?
Yeah, because if you think about like an ambulance, like a EMS, I don't know, do you call them?
EMS. Yeah, EMS. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you think about EMS, and they're on scene, like they can't cry. They just have to do something. They have to be professional, and they have to be at their peak performance to help somebody that's in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I mean, I have such respect. To me, they're my rock stars. They're the rock stars, emergency services, but they're no good unless they can actually get their job done without a whole bunch of muddling emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean they don't care. Oh boy, do they care.
Yeah.
So we could take, I think, something from that page, despite the fact that we work with, we work with all of those things. So we need them in order to do our job properly.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be receptive, but at some point we just need to manage it a little bit differently, I think.
Yeah. And what do you think is good for people to bring in to do that? Anything that you think works well, or approach? I mean, it sounds like we're also talking boundaries. Sounds like, I love what you said, dispassionate observation, to be able to because to me that's also in a way holding and or allowing sacred space is what you're.
Yes.
Now I can be of support,
yeah.
right? Now I can be of service.
Yeah.
Now I can be support, because I'm not spilling or bleeding into it. Now it's not about me, it's about what that person is going through.
I do a couple rules,
Okay.
just because I did have a turning point where I think I was in my Saturn return, and I was going through something terrible, and I did go to a reader who was very caustic, and I left with anxiety, and it was not good, and I won't go into those details, but I did say that I would never in my entire life let anybody leave my table feeling worse than when they did when they came.
Yeah.
So I always maintain that no matter what, it's got to go through a filter of compassion. I don't believe, I know I hear a lot of colleagues and whatever go, well, I just shoot straight from the hip. You're going to be, I'll be there as the messenger, but it will go through a layer of compassion. I mean, tough love sometimes, but love being the operative word. And the other thing that I will always maintain is something going to be helpful, useful and helpful. Because if it's unhelpful, what is the point? So it doesn't matter what you know or what you've been, you insight you've got. If it's not going to be helpful, or the timing isn't going to be right, then I'm just not going to be your person. If you want to go to someone that's going to be more cutthroat, and everyone's got their own, but those are, I guess, some of my boundaries too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if somebody is blocking, and playing silly buggers, it's like, prove to me you're no fool, walk across my swimming pool.
Yeah. Oh,
if you're
God.
going to do the JC Superstar thing, it's like, there's the door. There's the door.
And it does block. Oh, got Sue in the chat. She loved that dispassionate observation. And she said, my kind of reader, filter through compassion. That's why I think readers, I don't know if you've done, it should have some training in communication, compassionate communication. There's a way to say something to deliver the message. And I always tell myself, look, 97, 98% accurate. You don't know exactly, so if somebody's coming to you, I always put it on them, or like, this looks like this is coming in. But it has to be helpful, like, oh, this is going to happen in this, or they're going to die, or this is going to happen, or they're leaving you for sure. It's like, okay, I agree with you with that, because what I do now in my head, if I hear something like that, even if I'm on YouTube and I'm listening to something and I'll go cancel, cancel. I don't need that reality in my head. I don't need that experience.
Right.
Because I think sometimes people put especially if it's something you don't normally, I had something the other day and I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, number one, I don't handle it this way. Like, you're going to have an argument with someone you work in, this whole thing. And I'm like, well, that's not normally how I handle things. So maybe there's a discussion to be had. But so again, we're talking that filtering that you mentioned earlier. It's they're inserting they're not being objective. They're inserting their reality, into it, or what they would experience,
And I bet with your training and your background, I'd love to be a fly in the wall through one of your sessions too, because I just, therapists have got this amazing way of saying something by asking the appropriate question. And that's something I've tried to learn, because if you ask the question, then your sitter actually is going to come through with the right answer. You don't need to tell them. They're actually going to say it because they have already known it from the time they've walked in. But then now you're not telling them. You've sort of led them to the aha and the breakthrough, and that's what's going to be experienced in a way that will be transformational.
Yeah. And I like what you said, two-way street. And I looked a little bit at your book where you said like the symbols or the charms are like placeholders. I view myself at that. It's like their question, they're opening the channel, but their higher self, they're orchestrating the answers.
Yeah, so good.
Right? To come through. And nowadays, I mean, I don't get them very often, but I probably last few years, but every now and then, like those ones, the blockers, and I'll just tell them, look, now that I have to get into 3D reality and explain to you, which is fine. That's like a teacher, but that's not psychic. That's not going to get the information. So you could have it one or both ways. Do we want to talk and to prove in statistics, or do we want the channel? Do we want the psychic reading? Do we want the divination? Because they're two you can't do both. They're very different. But I did say that one time, oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I want the other. I said, well, it's up to you. I can do both, but I can't bounce back and forth because it's like a boulder on the head when you're doing the academic, and the skepticism and answering from that level, or do we expand in consciousness and get the answer? It's up to you. Which one do you want to do?
Sometimes if you ask them, right, like, and thankfully, right, when you worked, when I used to work in a metaphysical store, you'd get a lot more of these, or at psychic fairs. Like, I don't do any of those anymore. Oh my God, the street festivals. Yeah, you'd get those. So then when they went through this, and then you'd ask, well, why, can I just ask you, why are you sitting here? Like, what are your expectations of what you want to get out of here? And usually their answer would be something like, well, I was just curious. Yeah, I was curious. So I would say to them, I said, okay, so when you go down Main Street, Stouffville, and you see these big signs saying, there's a psychotherapist or there's, like a psychiatric clinic, would you go book an appointment with them because you're just curious? Like, would you just go knock on the door, sit there for an hour, and then because out of curiosity? Well, no, it's kind of, it's similar work, but obviously.
No, I agree, but no,
I'm not trying to, downplay the amazing work that clinicians do. I'm not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you go into any kind of a session? And it's just because it's fear. They're not at a point yet where they can even allow the question to form. It's there, but they can't allow it to form. So the timing is not right. You want your sitters to be ready to do some kind of work, and you can't expect that everything you're going to do right then and there is going to make a huge difference, but it will plant a seed and it will awaken something. It'll awaken a process, at least. If it doesn't solve it, if they're, depending on where they are in that journey, right, of that wherever that journey is, it does. It just stirs the earth up a little bit. It lets, some sunlight, some energy into the earth. So, or like I said, or they're going to have something actionable that they can move forward with.
Tina, I like what you're saying, because to me, what I'm getting from it is also responsibility, accountability, again, that reciprocity, that they're answering the question, what are they ready for? Because it is a lot about their consciousness,
Sure, and their psyche, right?
Yeah, their psyche, right? What they're letting in, what they're open to, where they're. And I also like that you ask, what are you wanting, and would you do this with? I've kind of done the same thing, whether plumber, doctor, lawyer, whatever.
That's right.
I don't have to do the tap dance if you because I already have read about you or been referred. So it's like,
you can go to a chiropractor and go, hey, I'm just here because I'm curious. What do you do all day?
Exactly. I'm gonna first just watch to see if you want to do that. But I think this is so helpful for people. I kind of always remind myself, but that there, it's not like you're going to get saved. There's a reciprocity where, like you said, their psyche, where are you at when you're going to the reading, determines a lot what happens, what comes through, and what's workable.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I think that's so powerful. And then and that person's inserted in their life. It's like, it's again, it's kind of the teamwork. It's teamwork, I guess. That's kind of even more than I'm saying the reciprocity. It's the synergy that can build, but you're not giving your power away when you're going and then taking what you receive in and take what you need, or how do you want to use that? It's kind of like a tool. It's like any other tool. You still have to bring, and I love what you said about their psyche. What are you ready for? What are you ready to hear? What are you ready to do?
And you can't push them, that too. You can't, because that is unethical. You have to kind of just listen. And the reason, the reason that we're doing, this is more on a psychic level. It's almost like, maybe their guides have pushed them. Do you know what I mean? To be where, and then, our guides are, meeting somewhere up there in a cafe, in a bistro.
Yeah.
Having a chat.
Exactly.
And like, and pulling some strings.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, pulling some strings.
That's right. So that's kind of what it's like. And I think you always have to, anyway, all I'm saying is that you have to be sympathetic and without drinking it all in, because that's where we have to learn how to manage our energy more effectively, because ultimately that's going to affect the quality of the reading. It's going to affect our bandwidth. It's going to affect our scope, right?
Right. That's so true. Now, I want to touch on charms. I have a friend that just loves charm reading. I play around with it a little bit. I didn't know too much about it. Is there the different, you said before, toolkit. So whether Lenormand or whatever, Kipper or other things, there's I Ching, there's astrology. Let me first start with this. Is there a similarity with like the charms with like Lenormand or tarot or holding through the symbolism? Or do you feel it's distinctly different, or is it an aspect of, I guess?
That's funny, because that's, to be honest, that's one of those questions that I would love to have an olive tree to sit under for 2 days to contemplate, because yes and no.
Okay.
So obviously your charm box, if you're a tarot reader, a Lenormand reader, you're going to have charms that are going to take on assigned core meanings that will be the same as a tarot card. Like, there could be something that would be, could tell you it was as a sociopathic experience, or a sociopathic energy that could resonate with the 5 of Swords, right? Or you could get, I've got a stone, a sharp stone, and it's a mountain, and that resonates with the mountain card in the Lenormand. So obviously you're going to have a collection, a curated collection of symbols that will inevitably take on some of those facets of meaning from your other work. But it is, you're not limited to 78 or 36. There's no limit as to how many charms you can use. And your charms have got multiple facets, and the facets of meaning could alter slightly depending on the combinations that they fall, how they fall, whether they fall right side up, reversed. So to me, I don't know. To me, this is my favorite, because it's so much frickin' fun, Michelle. It is so much fun. It's like play. It's playtime. The collection of them, the synchronicity in them coming across your path, finding them, or people giving them to you. The going through the various objects, and also the way that they will explain, and they'll tell you different meanings. They will show you sometimes. So I can tell you a little story if I
Yes, please.
I can tell you a little story. All right, so you've got Soda Streams, and Soda Streams? Do you know what that is? It's a machine that basically, right? Yeah, so
Yeah. I think
I
so.
know.
Yeah, that
It's
makes the
only
soda, right?
right. I'm only in Canada and US. It's not like you're on like Venus or anything.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah.
you've
Well,
got
there's some
Soda
things we
Streams,
don't have. There's some things that you guys, have.
right? God, do you have trees there? All right. So the Soda Stream, the little gasket broke off or whatever, so I removed it and then proceeded to lose it. So I had to go to Amazon and I ordered a package of like gaskets, and you can't just buy one, you have to get them in a package. So they came, and they're like round clear seals, and there are like a bunch of them in a package, and of course they're way too big because I have no idea how to, anyway, they were too big. So now you develop a charm caster's brain, and my charm caster's brain said, well, I should be returning these back to Amazon because they don't fit the stupid Soda Stream. What do? I go into the garage and I park the Soda Stream until spring because I don't want to deal with the Soda Stream machine, but the useless seals automatically find their way to various casting kits. Now, here's the great thing about this stupid little clear seal. If you think about what its function is in the Soda Stream machine, it stops the leak of gas in the carbonation process.
Okay.
So what that means is, and if you think about what the carbonation process is it takes plain, dull, old water and it adds vitality, it adds scintillation, it adds sparkle to the water. So now this beautiful little seal has shown up in a couple of readings, and what it's saying is don't waste your energy. It's saying don't waste your energy because you're expending your sparkle, your life force, and so like little things like that. I mean,
That's interesting. That is, yeah.
and then
Don't waste your spark. That's interesting. So now, do they kind of speak to you, or is it what they actually represent? Is it partially that, and then what comes through from that?
They do have big voices. They do. I mean, you spend time with something and you basically want to know what its function is and what it's capable of doing and what it's not capable of doing. And then you do a little research and you find out something really cool about it. And then
kind of sounds like my crystals, because I've been to
yes.
Okay,
do you do lithomancy when you do lithomancy? So you read them, you toss them, and then read them.
Well, I look at them. I get messages from them. Sometimes I'll be doing a reading, and they'll, like this happened the other day. They'll jump. Sometimes they'll move, and give me, like this one in this reading did the other day that I did for YouTube. And I was like, and it kept coming, it kept moving. And I thought, okay, because I had the flash, Michele, you're missing something. And I had to go to a book because I'd given all these meanings that I knew for labradorite. And then I went, and it was interesting. The whole reading was about letting go of negativity or negative energy, kind of cleansing. And then I went to the book, and it talked about labradorite is also gets rid of negative energy. And I was like, okay, I heard you.
Yeah. That's fabulous.
Yeah. So it sounds like similar to me, like that you're getting the main meaning, but then it could give you that, and then something else can come through from that, right?
Sure. So I've got like a little moon face, just a quick little trio here. I have a little moon face. Now, when I look at this moon face, I'm not saying, oh, it's the receptive cycles, right? It's not like a moon like this. Okay. When I look at it, it's saying to me, it's sheer lunacy. So whenever something is it's just lunacy. It's cray cray. It's nuts. So when I was doing a reading for someone, the moon face stuck right into, I have a crown charm. The crown was reversed, and it fell on that seal, the clear seal. So what that trio was saying is that the sitter was having a lot of troubles with a textbook tormentor boss. Like, I'm talking about a Devil Wears Prada boss.
Oh my God.
So what this was actually saying is that this self-proclaimed queen did not have a clue about what she was talking about. It was all duplicitous. It was coming from, like you said, and I love this expression, her avatar self. And it was specifically saying, because it's blocking the seal on the bottom, do not waste your energy responding to her, because she's, it's like lunacy. So the way that they show up and they interact.
So it's not just one individually, you're putting them together also.
They do. They fall in clusters. They fall in piles. They fall scattered. They fall in lines.
Right.
They like lithomancy too. How certain crystals, there's a directionality to them. Yeah. Like with the.
That's with runes. I read runes are like that, and so are astrodice. It's like if something's further away, if something's closer,
right,
then it's going to have whether you're
factored in.
Yeah, factor. Now, okay, so if you're like with that moon, does that moon always mean that to you? So do you have certain charms? And by the way, I think you said, I think in your book, it's like you have 1,500 charms. My God.
I think that's crazy. I know. I think, and that's an underestimation. I think.
Oh, charm museum.
So my God.
Is it the same? Is it almost like a tool? Like, okay, I'm going and I use this. This means this. This means that, and then you put it together. Or can it change meaning in a particular reading?
Sure. Sure it can. And sometimes you need to stay open. Like I said, every piece will have a facet. And then sometimes they're going to ask you to step away from your comfort zone with what you know about them. And they will ask you to actually do like a synthesis. So if a few fall together, you really have to soft gaze it. And soft gaze it, and something comes through. Something comes through. A word will come through. So it's harder to explain, but like
no, I think you're doing great. I see it.
In a legal case, here's an example. I have a ring, and a ring means a commitment, a partnership. It's like it could be something contractual, the ring, right? But I also have one that has a bit of a chain attached to it, just like a little chain. So it would be a key ring, but I took whatever the bauble was on the end of it. So when the two come up, one's a condition with, one is a like a contract with a condition. But the way that this showed up in this specific legal issue is that you just hear, that's where your clairaudience, your claircognizance comes in, and you hear the word concession. Right? Concession. So what that meant to me was that either something, it was not going to be a good outcome, but something would happen. Either they would get a reduced sentence than what they thought, or it would be a change of venue that wasn't as difficult, but it was a small concession. So all I'm saying is that you've got to, that's why I'm saying it really will enhance your psychic ability too, because you're opening up to your clairs like that. So, and that's sometimes how you figure it out. And I'm sure you do that with your crystals too, the way that something's pointing to something else, or and it's true. Something will feel charged, like you're saying that crystal kept moving. So it was capturing your, your focus, your attention.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I'd had a flash, like the
Oh,
flash and then the words in the previous reading, because I was going to pick a card about getting the book. And then, but I knew the
right.
meaning. And so then when I went to do this specific reading, that darn crystal fell off of, was on another crystal to show, to kind of highlight it.
Wow.
It fell down and I said, okay, I'm listening. I got to get the book.
Wow. See? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening. So it also sounds like you've created, and I'm wondering if you feel this is important to do. You created your own system of how you get in. You said that opening. I was thinking that word too. It's like the charm opened you into like, okay, now we're in that doorway. Now we're in that dimension, or getting the information so that it can come through the clairs.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's just something that just happens in anybody's reading. I mean, anybody, it doesn't matter. Just that you understand what's going on. So,
but you kind of created. Do you feel you created your own system, or you have your system of? Okay,
I think everybody does, right? Everybody, no matter how they work with it in a way. And then you keep playing with it and expanding it and changing it depending on what the context is or what you're looking for. But when you do this for a little bit, I think you fall into like a routine, a sacred routine, or you fall into a sacred practice. And everyone might have a different approach, practice, technique. And it's always good to experiment to see, how that changes things up. And all you're asked to do is have a little bit of courage in the beginning. You don't need to stick with it, but have the courage. Let it feel awkward. Let it push you past. Let it take you out of a comfort zone. I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah, I think, and to me, this goes back to what you're saying about our own growth and whatever we're doing of service, whether you want divination, whatever you want to call it, is like there has that, again, that's synergy, that if you're growing, that something may even change in your system or your interpretation.
A really good point. You're right. Yeah.
And to be, and I agree with you, to be open to it, to kind of take that risk, because now we're going into new territory too, perhaps.
Yeah. 100%. It's a great way of putting it too. Yeah, that explains a lot, because it is in flux.
Yeah, I like that. It is in flux. Yeah, I think anything, whatever you're doing, I would imagine it's interesting because you're talking, let's say, an artist or painter, they're encouraged to study. And I think sometimes people, I know in one of my field, the therapy world, counseling, like they get to a place, I'm done, and I don't think we were ever done. I think I think we continually grow, adapt, maybe study, train, mentor, apprentice, whatever. That there's some constant kind of unfolding that makes us better also at what we do.
It's so funny, I know that probably all of us at some point have gone through crises where we're like, oh, I'm just done with this. And I think when we do come to that conclusion, I think we've lost the awe. And I think that we've lost we've stopped learning at some point. And I think the antidote to that is to always keep ourselves challenged in some way, shape, or form. And if anyone out there certainly has come to the point where they they're tired, exhausted, or feel like giving up or something, just go back, refill the well, go learn something,
Yeah.
get passionate again.
Yeah, that's oof. Refill the well. And you have to refill, especially if you use a particular medium a lot, or process or way or system or job or whatever you want to call it. You know, it doesn't have to be just in this, what we're talking about. Yeah, you do have to find ways to refill, connect back into the spark. I think that's so important.
The
What
spark.
you're saying. Yeah, got to reconnect. Just going to ask anyone in the chat or listening, whether online or in the chat, or if you have any question about what we're talking about, just let me know. You can put it in the chat or you can call in.
I love the name Windy Cindy.
Yeah, right?
Putting it out there.
Windy City. Let's see. I don't see anything. So let's wind down a little bit. Love to have you back, and even maybe
Oh, Michele,
the live stream.
I just loved hanging out here with you. This has been so amazing.
Me as well. This is just, I feel like, I've had my tea here. I feel like I'm having a wonderful chat with you. And I love what you've brought through. And I'm fascinated really with what you're blending together. It's very, by what you're telling me too, the feedback, like little samples of like the reads, it can be it's fun, it's light, but it also sounds like it's very exacting. It can really hone right in.
If anyone, the thing about charm casting, I have to say honestly, I think you have to be a combination, like the love child between Sherlock Holmes and a stand-up comedian, because it'll test your intellectual capabilities. It really, you'll solve mysteries with these pieces. I mean, I love that aspect of it. But then, when you realize that you're on your hands and knees because you've lost a banana charm and it's gone into the vacuum, or you're looking like high and low, and then you've got these two pieces that fall together. And I really did say this, like, a monkey and it falls on top of a sheep, and you're actually scratching your head trying to figure out what this means, right? In all seriousness. And then somebody says, well, what did you do today? And I just like shake my head saying, no. it just won't come out the same way.
Right.
The conclusions, the conclusions that I've drawn have been helpful, but the way that I've gone about them, yeah.
It sounds like too, because it kind of extends out of yourself in a way, your former self, and then you're taking that risk.
Yes.
So you're this extending out, and oh my God, that's so great. That's a lot of growth. And I do believe that's the way we kind of live more in the magic and the mystery, is we kind of have to get out of it. In a way, it's getting out of your comfort zone.
It is. And I think that's healthy for all of us. It really gets us, it takes us out of ourselves, and it gives our minds something to focus on. And being a double Gemini, I can drive myself crazy. So if I'm not intellectually stimulated, I can be like Sherlock Holmes. It's terrible, right? I mean, I go nuts. It's the worst. So the thing about charm casting is it is just it is a bottomless pit of potential and possibility, and it's fun work. It's something like, wasn't it Jung that said, what is it that you do that makes the hours feel like minutes?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That is what charm casting is. Before you know it, so much time has gone by, and it's just such a fabulous something to do with yourself, for yourself too. It's me time. And do you know, it's like Debbie Stoller when she developed her book, which was Chicks with Sticks. She turned knitting into something cool, and now suddenly there were collections of, do you know what I mean, this community of very cool women that would get
Yeah, I
together in
remember that.
cafes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody was knitting. Yep, yep.
everyone was knitting, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about their problems, and they were
Mm-hmm.
laughing, and they were having a great night out. And tomorrow night I'm teaching, I've got 4 women that are coming together, and I've got a little themed casting kit. We're doing a little casting party. And so
Oh, fun.
this is,
Now, is that online or in person?
it's going to be in person.
Okay.
It's going to be in person, and it'll be great because it'll help me start to, do more virtual, teaching
Yeah.
thing. But I want to watch that dynamic. I'm very curious to watch that dynamic because anybody can cast.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an unconscious, it's going to open a dialogue with it. If you've
Yeah.
got a super conscious, of course, everyone's got one of those. And if you have a life that's gone through experiences, I can pick any charm out of my casting kit and ask you what it means, and there's no wrong answer.
Yeah. And that is how our guidance comes in, our subconscious. And of course, that's what,
Mm,
like I, like you, love, Jung and what he brought, because the whole world, the universe, the whole world is speaking to us through these signs and symbols. It's like where you park, the car, the something somebody says. If you really open
right.
up, you're constantly being guided by this quantum and beyond aspect of us, our higher self, whatever you want to call it, God as us, God, whatever is coming through us, constantly guiding us. And to me, the charms are representation of that, the signs, the symbols, the imagery. And then, like you said, you find your own system of guidance. And I feel that's where we're going in the new paradigm. This great awakening is having more of this interactive world instead of being so just insulated and
Yeah,
I'm alone. I'm alone. No, it's like that tree just spoke to you. What did you feel? Oh, I got the message. Because once you open up to that, it's like for once you for sure feel guided, but you also don't feel so isolated or alone,
that's true.
right? Because you're calling in, we call it metaphysics. You're calling in what you need. You're getting that exactly the guidance, the person, the situation. You keep calling it in, and now you're curating your life experience. Now you're interacting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all we need to do is start asking the right questions. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing to be able to figure out where we're at and figure out and diagnose what the situation is. But, we need to ask for,
Yeah.
what the next step forward is and how
Yeah.
we deal with it and what
Put
our
the
strengths
question
are.
out there.
What's a
Yes.
what's a key strength or a key resource that I have
Yeah.
that maybe I'm not tapping into, right? It's about forming questions
Yeah.
that I think will support our healing and our evolution
Yeah.
too.
And Tina, there's a saying that Jung had, and I always say, well, I adjusted it a little bit, but Carl Jung said we all come in with a living question.
Oh,
And I say we come in with
good.
the living question and the living answer.
That's good. I
Right?
like that guy.
Yeah, he was. And it's true. Our life is this living question. We're living it out. But then I feel like there's this next step that when you ask that right question, when you're living, right
Mhm.
livelihood, right relationship, right alignment to you, there's this question, but you're constantly getting the answer back through people, situations, circumstances. You're getting that confirmation back
Mhm.
completely that here's your answer. I'm looking for fulfillment. What is it? And then you start doing things, and then you find, oh, I love charms. Oh, there's your answer. Do that. Do more of that. Oh, I love this food. It's so healthy. I love my smoothie in the morning. Okay, do that. There's the answer. So I think what you said, and I hope our listeners really tap into this because it seems simple, and it is, like all great truths are really simple. but you have, need to be done over and over, is asking that right question and then paying attention and listening. We have to,
Or waiting, even just waiting. Ask the question and have the, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Just wait.
yeah, wait to
Have the
see what,
patience and it'll
but
show up. It'll
yeah,
show up.
but being willing to ask the question, the right question, you find, and sometimes you have to keep asking different ones in different ways. And like you said, be patient. But then then we insert ourselves in our own life. It's like, okay,
Mm.
I'm allowed to have fun and fulfillment too, and be of service. I'm allowed to. And so I think that asking the question, whether it's in a reading or just in our life in general, and finding the right question, because I've asked certain questions and then months or years later I realize, oh, I was just a little bit off with that question. That's why I wasn't getting the right answer. I think.
Sue McCarthy, thank you so much too. I just wanted to say, Michelle, Sue McCarthy says too that she loves automatic writing
Oh, that's another
and that
one,
she needs
right?
to go more in that direction. Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Good
That is
idea. Yeah, find great conversation. Yeah, Sue, I agree. Yeah, maybe we'll do part 2. Maybe hopefully we've inspired you, and that find
Thanks, Bailey.
your thing. Find your how are you getting your signs, your symbols. So Tina, let us know, where can people find you and where can they find the book? Again, we've been touching upon charm casting, divining
It's
with
called Trinkets, Trifles, sorry, Charm Casting, Divining with Trinkets, Trifles, Baubles, and Bits. And it's available Amazon or any, Noble and Barnes and any booksellers, really. So it's available. And it's I think it'll be a bit of a fun read, and I really honestly I think for any diviner this is just a great little thing to do, because you can ransack your house. I mean, you can get really inexpensive collections, but you can ransack your house for little items.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them in a fun tin, and you're already off to the races. If they need to get hold of me, I really am in the middle of changing my web hosting company. So my website is actually dark, which is probably a stupid idea, but I need to.
No, I did that at one point because I had to switch and it took a few days. Let me real quick before you go into that answer question. Yeah,
Oh
Jody
yeah,
said pendulum. Pendulum is good.
oh yeah. I
Bailey
love
said,
it.
yeah, I love this. I'm going to dive in when I make time. Just 10 to 15. Wait, if they got your book, they could just 10, 15 minutes a day or a week, or just start where you're at. Doesn't have to take a long time, right?
Oh no, you know what? It's so intuitive, and it becomes. I think it becomes slightly addictive. You will get
Mm-hmm.
obsessed. You'll get obsessed, but you'll be surprised if you go through jewelry boxes and you know what I mean? You'll be surprised at a handful of things. And then of course, if you want to take it to the next step, then it's like anything else, and a little bit more discipline goes in. But the initial stages, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing either, and it worked. But if you need to get hold of me, you can always reach me at Tina at Tina Hardt, HARDT, Delta Tango .ca, so that I can be reached there if
Okay.
for any
Now, are you
reason.
on Instagram also?
Oh,
There was, because
I,
I
s- I,
tagged that. You started, right? But
yes, I know. I'm terrible with social media platforms. There's so many. I prefer to be picking, like, plastic pigs out of vacuum cleaner bags and actually putting social media. I don't want Wiser to hear that. I don't want Wiser to hear that. But it's like, I don't know. Social media is just, I know
just do
you
it in
have
your
to do.
way. Just do it in your own way. People will find you, but
I
just
just need I need a
presence.
learning curve, right?
Yeah,
And I'm trying. I am trying. So I'm definitely going to be putting some stuff together.
good. So the website will come through. There's a little bit on Instagram. I did put, you could probably even message her there. I did put, I tagged her in the Instagram story. Um,
I
Otherwise,
do.
the email she gave you, and then the book is on Amazon, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And like I said, Tina at tinahart.ca. And if I don't even, I should be paying more attention to, what's happening on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I know I
Well,
should.
yeah. Now you know. Just pick one. But people will find you. They'll find the book.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tina, for being here, and I'm just
thanks
so enjoyed our connection and our conversation. Yeah.
So
I'm
did
so
I,
inspired.
Michelle. Oh my God, it was such a great time with you. So huge hug from Canada, and take care of you. And I hope we hook up again.
Oh, definitely. I want to do a live stream even on the YouTube channel with you. I think it'd be
Awesome.
fun. Yeah. So yeah, I feel really happy that I got to meet you. So till
All right.
next time,
Well,
big hug.
We'll talk soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, soul lights. Wonderful, wonderful. I have so loved this. Bye. Jody, next week I want to let everyone know Nelson Marquez and Grace O will be here. Grace O, Nelson Marquez, talking 3i Atlas, tuning in to the music, note of C, key of G. We'll be diving into how you can better connect into that frequency as well as the music that they composed within that frequency, that note and key. Connecting in, we have this Friday, 3i Atlas coming very, very closest to the earth plane. Definitely you can feel the energy of it. And one way, again, is to connect into sound and tone, movement, dance, swaying. It is higher vibrational energetic frequency and a higher vibrational octave of the heart, really connecting into the universal heart. So anyway, I wish you all so much love, light, and wisdom on your soul path and a lot of soul expression. And I hope to see you next week. Call in next week. Love to hear from you as well. And keep shining bright and keep the conversation going.
I'm getting woke and staying woke. Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.